Welcome back. So in this video, we'll be discussing how to install Windows Server 2019. So initially, we'll start with understanding the minimum requirements to install Windows Server 2019. So basically, for installing Windows Server 2019, you can have a physical machine or a virtual machine. So your virtual machine or a physical machine shall have minimum of 1.4 gigahertz 64-bit processor, and it requires minimum of 512 MB of RAM. But basically, it is recommended a minimum of 2 GB when you are installing your operating system with a desktop experience. And also the hard disk minimum of 32 GB is a recommended one. And with this configuration, minimum configuration, you can install and run the Windows Server 2019. So now we'll move on to the practical demonstration. And here I have a virtual machine which is running with 4 GB of RAM and two processor cores and 40 GB of hard disk. And also I have mounted the ISO file of the Windows Server 2019. So let me power on the virtual machine. So initially it'll prompt you to press any key to boot from a CD or DVD. So after pressing any key, so you can see the operating system installation is being started. And while installation, you can choose the language whichever you prefer, and also you can choose the date and time, currency for which country you're working for, or for which country uh, you're uh, doing the configurations. And for here, let me choose India, and we can proceed install. And while the installation is being proceeding, so we need to select the hard disk in which the OS has to be installed. Before that, you need to choose the edition. So basically, Microsoft offers two editions. One is the standard edition, the other one is the data center edition. Even the standard edition comes with the core mode installation as well as with the desktop experience. So you can choose whichever you want. So where the core installation will have, we don't have- will not have the graphical interface, where you'll have only the CLI interface to work on the server. Where when you go with the standard edition with desktop experience, or where you'll get the complete graphical experience, so where you can install and configure all the roles with the mouse click itself. So based on your requirement, you can choose whichever the edition you want. So currently, let me go with the Windows Server 2019 Standard Edition. So I'm using the Evolution version, and also I want with the experience desktop experience. So after selecting the appropriate operating system edition, press next. And next, you'll be asked to go through the license agreement, and also you need to accept the license agreement. So let me accept the license agreement, and we'll proceed next. And now we need to choose whether you are going to upgrade your system or you're going to perform the new installation. So I'm going to perform the new installation. So if I'm going to perform the upgrade option, I can go with the first option. So currently I'm going with the new installation. And whenever I'm performing the new installation, I'll be asked to select the hard disk in which I want to install the operating system. So here I want to install it in, since my virtual machine has only one hard disk, so there is no other option. If you have multiple hard disks, so you'll get the list. So from the list, you can select whichever the hard disk in which you want to install the operating system. And then after selecting the disk, you can proceed next. So now what will happen is the entire 40 GB is going to be configured as a single partition, and in which the disk is going to be formatted with NTFS file system, and the operating system file is going to be copied into that particular partition. So the you can see the file is ready for installation, and now it'll take a while. So in meanwhile, let me pause the recording and resume the recording when the installation moves on to the next stage. So now the copying of the files is done, and now the installation of features is also done, and now installing updates is in progress. And once the installation is done, so the system will automatically reboot in 10 seconds. So now the system is getting ready for the first time. And after the system reboots, so it'll ask you to configure the administrator's password. So the password should be a complex password. So which means the password should have uppercase, lowercase, numerical, special characters, any of three combination, minimum of 7 characters. And now the installation is done. So let us log on to the machine. So after installing the operating system, by default, the computer will have a default randomly generated name, and based on your requirement, you can change the host name, and you can configure the network settings, that is the IP address and so on, based on your requirement. And that's all, the installation is done. And here you can see the license is valid for okay, just a moment, let me show that too. And here you can see the Windows Server 2019 standard evolution is being installed, and the license is valid for 180 days. And after the installation is done, you can change the host name and you can change the domain membership. So all this can be done from here. From here you can change the host name and so on. And that's all for this demonstration. So we'll continue the remaining configurations in the upcoming videos. Until then, bye bye.